Hey everybody, my name is Aaron and I help people navigate life after loss. If you're watching this video, it's most likely because your spouse just passed away and you're searching on the internet for information that may be helpful. And I hope that's what this video will be for you. Today, we're going to look at the first 72 hours after losing your spouse and some of the key things that you're going to have to face, questions you're going to have to answer as you navigate this process. The first one is this. What funeral home are you going to choose? I live in Las Vegas. There's all kinds of funeral homes here. I don't know where you live, but if you have multiple, I would encourage you, go and talk to a few of them. See which one feels most comfortable to you. I would also say location is key. So try to find one that's close to you as well. You're going to be going back and forth a few different times. But if you answer a handful of these questions, and you're kind of prepared before you show up, you may only have to go once or twice. And so I would encourage you, be prepared for that. But try to find one that's close to your house. It makes it easier, so you're not having to drive 20 miles. I had one that's 5 miles from my house, and so that was the one that I chose. The second one is this. Bring family support. It's really important to bring somebody with you. After you lose your spouse, your mind's just not thinking the way that it normally would. You're in a weird fog. You don't really know how to make decisions. You're probably not eating and sleeping much. And all of a sudden, there's somebody asking you all kinds of questions that you've got to answer. Having somebody there with you was huge for me. I had my two brothers with me. And so just having them there, when I didn't know how to answer a question, they were there. And when they just needed somebody just to be there, just to sit there and listen, they were there. So whether it's a friend, family member, a neighbor, try to bring somebody with you when you're going. Third is the viewing. You have an option of having a viewing, which is basically them preparing the body, setting them up in a room for you, your family, and friends to come kind of say their final goodbyes. This was a weird one for me because I'm sitting across from this table and this lady's asking me if I want to do this. I'm like, well, when would we have to do it? And she's like, well, you really have to do it the next couple of days. I'm like, so I got to call 40 people and ask them right now if they would even want to come, because you're also having to make a decision because it costs money to do this. And so it was just kind of a bizarre thing, and having a little bit of time to prepare before I got there and have some conversations with people before I even arrived there would have been helpful. And so maybe think about that. Am I going to do a viewing, or do we want to do a viewing? My family, would anybody really want to do that? Number 4 is picking the clothes. If you do a viewing, or if you do a burial, or when your family member is cremated, they're going to ask you, what would you like for them to be buried in or cremated in? Or what would you like to have them wearing at the viewing? And again, it's just such a weird thing that you've got to figure out. But having this decided before you go takes a lot of the emotional weight off of you. And so maybe go into the closet, today, and look through what's something, or bring some family up there and walk into the closet. What's something that we would want them to wear, or what's something that they absolutely loved, and bring that with you, because you'll be able to hand that to them, and that will be one less decision that you have to make, or one less trip that you have to go back to. Number 5, are you doing a burial, or are they going to be cremated and you're going to have an urn? My wife and I decided we both want to be cremated, so we chose the urn route. They have a magazine that you're going to flip through, and there's anything from a cardboard box all the way up to like diamond plated, gold plated, whatever it is that they have for trillions of dollars. And you're sitting here going like, it is a weird thing that happens where you're going like, I don't want a cardboard box, like, but am I spending $1 million on a gold plated thing? And you're trying to like process and figure out and put a value on, and it's just this bizarre thing. And my brother ended up making us an urn, so if you know somebody, that's a really cool option. But there's definitely options for you in there, but just know there's going to be like this weird pressure. So think through before you get there, like, is there a price that you're not going to pay? Is there a price that you will? Do you even care? Is it that big of a deal? But there is this pressure when you're there having to walk through that decision. And then the last thing is this: death certificates. This is crucial. Over the next few weeks and months, This decision needs to be made that day, but you can always go back if you want. But the less trips you have to go back to a funeral home, I think is the better. And so they're going to ask you, how many do you want? And you just say, I want to get like 6 or 7 copies of originals and 6 or 7 copies to just copies. Credit card companies, your housing, however many different accounts that you have that they were on, as you begin to close those accounts out, they're going to ask for death certificates. And so being prepared in advance is going to be way more helpful for you in the healing process, to where you're not having to run around and be frustrated trying to find something that you don't have. And so definitely get like 6 or 7 of each, original and copies. The fact that you're watching this probably is because you lost your spouse, and for that I hate this. But I really do hope this video was helpful for you, so that you can prepare and take some of that emotional weight off as you go in to make some of these decisions over the next few days.